In international politics, nothing is as volatile as the situation currently brewing in Iran. Alarming reports are emerging from Tehran, with claims that the country has been allegedly enriching uranium to 84% purity, dangerously close to the 90% required to make an atomic bomb. With this, Iran stands on the brink of potentially becoming a nuclear state. And a pressing question arises: is Russia helping Iran in this unsettling development? This is Living History, and today we'll answer just that. While other countries grapple with imposing sanctions on Iran, Russia plays a paradoxical role as both a mediator and potential provocateur. As a key member of the P5+1 group involved in the nuclear deal discussions, Russia is positioned as a mediator. However, its close alliance with Iran adds a layer of complexity. There has even been evidence of Iran supplying Russia with drones for the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, therefore deepening their involvement and triggering further sanction rounds. Even more concerning are claims by US intelligence officials that Russia is assisting Iran in its nuclear program, possibly enabling it to reach the critical 90% threshold for weapons-grade uranium enrichment. To complicate matters further, in 2018, the US under President Trump exited the JCPOA, triggering severe sanctions that crippled Iran's economy. Attempts to revive talks have faced hurdles, and suspicions of Iran's nuclear ambitions have since intensified. The looming threat is Iran's potential to rapidly develop an atomic bomb, should it choose to do so. With uranium enrichment at 84%, weapons-grade levels could be achieved in months. Now, Iran's nuclear ambitions are not a new revelation. This intricate game of atomic chess dates back to the mid-20th century, specifically the 1950s, when the seeds of Iran's nuclear aspirations were planted. With the launch of the Atoms for Peace program, Uncle Sam himself extended a friendly hand to Iran, initiating their nuclear program. This collaboration started with a civil nuclear cooperation agreement in 1957, followed by Iran's acceptance into the International Atomic Energy Agency a year later. Fast forward to 1967, and the Tehran Nuclear Research Center swung its doors open, showcasing a small reactor, a kind of courtesy of the United States. Not one to skirt international conventions, Iran also signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, in 1968. The 1970s ushered in a new era for Iran's nuclear program. A West German company, Kraftwerk Union, agreed in 1974 to build two 1,200-megawatt light water reactors at Bushehr. Under President Gerald Ford, Iran's ambitious plan to develop a full-scale nuclear power program found further approval. The Shah, in fact, had grand designs to generate a massive 23,000 megawatts of electricity while retaining the capacity to reprocess US-supplied fuel. What did President Ford do? He raised his glass to these ambitions and helped Iran create a roadmap to build 23 reactors. However, Ford stopped short of allowing Iran independent reprocessing capabilities, performing a multinational reprocessing plant in Iran instead. True to form, Iran pushed back, opting for an all-encompassing national nuclear program. Fast forward to 1977. President Carter attempted to reconcile the Shah's aspirations with global nuclear safety norms. In exchange for Iran accepting additional safeguards beyond the NPT requirements, the US granted Iran the coveted most favored nation status for reprocessing. However, this cozy US-Iran nuclear relationship hit a significant snag in 1979. As the Iranian Revolution gathered speed, the US yanked away its supply of highly enriched uranium for the Tehran research reactor. To add insult to injury, Kraftwerk Union pulled the plug on the Bushehr reactor project due to payment defaults. Not all hope was lost, though. German engineers returned in 1984 to assess the feasibility of completing the Bushehr reactor, but alas, fate had other plans. An Iraqi attack caused severe damage to the nuclear power plant, effectively grinding progress to a halt. If you're finding this content insightful and engaging, don't forget to help us by tapping that subscribe button. Now, what's a story of nuclear ambition without a bit of cloak and dagger intrigue? Enter Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, the father of Pakistan's atomic weapons program. A man of many talents and questionable loyalties, Khan ran an illicit nuclear supermarket, peddling nuclear secrets to countries such as North Korea and Iran. Arrested in 2004, he confessed to running a nuclear proliferation network. However, Khan later retracted his statements, hurling accusations at Pakistani officials, only to be released in 2009. The years following only heated up the saga. Iran's nuclear intentions attracted heavy sanctions from the United States in 2010, targeting Iran's lifelines, its energy and financial sectors. The goal: to bring Iran's uranium enrichment program, viewed as a launchpad for nuclear weaponry, to a grinding halt. But Iran countered by not only maintaining, but also amplifying its nuclear activities, enriching uranium to unprecedented levels. While these diplomatic dances were unfolding, Iran's leaders spewed threats against Israel. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, went so far as to label Israel a cancerous tumor in May 2020, promising its uprooting and destruction. Amidst this, Iran's atomic aspirations grew, buoyed by an ally that emerged from the shadows: Russia. To grasp this international tangle, however, we must plunge into the historical depth of Iran-Russia relations. Russia's influence on Iran's nuclear program is a critical piece of the puzzle. The inception of this alliance can be traced back to the 1990s, following the collapse of the USSR. Since then, Iran and Russia have bolstered their strategic cooperation, particularly in the nuclear sector. Iran's first Russian-built nuclear reactor at Bushehr emerged as a symbol of this partnership. Fast forward to 2014, Russia pledged to construct up to 8 more reactors in Iran, further consolidating their alliance. More recently, the duo started building a second nuclear plant, a $10 billion project following Tehran's landmark nuclear deal. This venture demonstrates Russia's persistent role in nurturing Iran's nuclear capabilities. In 2023, Russia's influence on Iran's nuclear program is further underscored by recent US intelligence reports. These reports suggest that Iran has been soliciting Russia's assistance in procuring additional nuclear materials and aid with nuclear fuel fabrication. The implications of such a partnership are profound. The fuel in question could power Iran's nuclear reactors and potentially expedite Iran's breakout time, the time needed to produce enough material for a nuclear weapon. A top Pentagon official has ominously estimated this timeframe to be a mere 12 days, should Iran decide to go down that path. Moreover, Iran's uranium stockpile, approximately 192 pounds of which is already enriched up to 60%, could be sufficient to produce several bombs, as per the United Nations. However, the process of fitting these onto missiles could likely take months. But what propels Russia to assist Iran? The motivations are numerous and multifaceted. Firstly, it's a matter of geopolitical leverage. Supporting Iran's nuclear program enhances Russia's influence in the Middle East, counterbalancing Western power. Secondly, it's about financial gains. The multi-billion-dollar deals for reactor constructions are lucrative for Russia's economy, especially now when it's facing sanctions itself following the annexation of Crimea in 2014 and invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Lastly, this alliance is part of Russia's grand strategy to form a united front against Western dominance. Moreover, recent events suggest that the Iran-Russia alliance extends beyond nuclear cooperation. During the Russo-Ukrainian War, Russia acquired drones from Iran in return for nuclear assistance, with a Russian delegation visiting the Kashan airfield south of Tehran in mid-2022. As of 2023, American intelligence has also reported that Iran is assisting Russia in building a drone factory within its borders, ostensibly to maintain its war machine in Ukraine. Now, deciphering Iran's nuclear ambitions calls for an understanding of its geopolitical strategy. Isolated by Western sanctions, Iran has aligned with Russia to bolster its nuclear program out of necessity. This alliance serves dual purposes for Iran. It safeguards against potential future backtracking from nuclear agreements by other global powers, just like the US did in 2018, and it enables Iran to assert regional dominance and resilience against external pressure. This move has triggered mixed global reactions, with countries urging Iran to adhere to the 2015 JCPOA, while the US, which withdrew from the deal under Trump, remains hesitant to re-engage. Israel, being within Iran's potential fallout zone, has voiced serious concerns and has advocated for a more proactive global response. Meanwhile, Iran's theocratic leadership continues to maintain the peaceful intent of its nuclear program, despite significant uranium enrichment raising international suspicions. The emergence of Iran as a potential nuclear state has also shifted Middle Eastern dynamics. Saudi Arabia has voiced opposition, while Gulf Arab states fear potential confrontations involving the US, Israel, and Iran. As tensions mount, the possibility of a regional Cold War going hot emerges. Amid this complex geopolitical landscape, the role of mediators like China could offer some hope for a diplomatic resolution. That, though, we should probably leave for a future video. Let us know what you think in the comments below. This is Living History signing out.